Just got done editing this interview. You guys are going to love it. Before I do that, though, I want you to know that I'm going to be in the comments for the next 30 minutes or so answering your questions. If there's additional questions you want me to ask the CEO next time I interview them, leave them below. Or if you're just loving the data points I get CEOs to share, click the thumbs up button below. That's your way of telling me you're loving this stuff, and I'll get you more of it. Additionally, again, I'll be in the comments answering any questions you have. All right, for 30 minutes. Enjoy the interview. Hello, everyone. My guest today is Sam Caucci. He's founded 1Huddle, a training and development team that is using game technology to help organizations better prepare their people for the workforce. All right, Sam, are you ready to take us to the top?
Let's do it.
All right, so just to be clear, help us understand kind of where you fit in the kind of bigger space of HR tech in general.
Yeah, so today, with the way we look at the world is that corporate employees are less prepared than ever before. Companies continue to invest in yesterday's technologies to whether it's onboard or continuously develop or prepare workers. But largely, the skill gap that's present today has shown that those technologies have largely failed. Our product, we built a game platform that does two things. One, it allows companies to more quickly create content to push out to users anywhere they are, which we feel LMS products largely miss on. Second, we have a because we're a game platform, we create an environment where usage is not just near 100%, but most of our gameplay happens voluntarily outside of working hours. So we see that learning management systems are not only torture for workers to interact with, but they're also they take way too long to create in a time when jobs are changing way too fast.
So help me understand, what's the average company going to pay you per year to use this technology on their workforce?
Our average contract value today hovers around $50K, but we have pricing as low as $3,000 a month, and pricing that surpasses enterprise north of 100.
This is very different than last time I came on back in April 2017. Your average ACV there was around $10,000. So you've really moved upstream, almost 5Xing that.
Yeah, I think two big things. One, I think we gain more as a startup. We gain more confidence in our sales process. So, asking for more is something that just takes time. And then I think in that process of getting more confident, we also got more confidence selling to larger enterprises. So, I think that one of our biggest opportunities and challenges over the last year has been we just signed Fossil Group, 500 global stores, signed Vineyard Vines. We just launched a global deal with PIMCO. These large enterprise deals taken up a lot of our time. However, it's also boosted ACV and put us into a sort of totally different stratosphere.
How many customers are you working with now today?
We have about 111 right now.
Okay, fair enough. And now, have you bootstrapped, or did you decide to raise some capital?
So we raised our first round of financing in Q1 of 18. Raised about 2.25 as our seed round.
Okay, and
really the only other financing before that? We're predominantly bootstrapped, but the only other financing prior to that was accelerators and angels.
Yeah, you had about $400,000 in from accelerators and angels, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, it's about 2.9 to the company today so far. Do you regret raising the 2.5 million?
No, I think that the reality of it is, I think you always have to the balance that we have to weigh has to do with how fast can we move, and what does our market look like. And it's fair to say that with record low unemployment and HR tech starting to heat up because companies are understanding employee churn is a major problem for them. I think that the timing where we sat, we grew very responsibly being bootstrapped the way we were. I think that looking at our financing in our last round, it was all about how do we continue to keep our foot on the gas because we were outselling our product a little bit.
Yeah, that sounds like to me it's code for burn to drive growth, right? So how much are you burning per month right now?
About 120.
And is that cool? Are you good with that?
Yeah, again, I think at this stage of where we are, it's fine. I think we're in a position that at any point in time, if we wanted to be break even, we could. All of our dollars go towards product development. Our biz dev team is about 18.
How many total people?
36.
36. So what do you mean biz dev is 18? Like marketing, sales?
I would include biz dev, marketing, and we only have a few customer success people, and our customer success folks are largely part of the sales process because we are very land and expand as a model. So our customer success team is very intimately involved in our upselling and expansion process.
Yeah. How many engineers?
18.
Oh, okay. Okay, got it. So it's split 18,
50. Yep.
Yeah. How many of the 18 are actual quota carrying sales reps?
7.
Okay. Interesting. Did you make your first hire with that $2.5 million round on the sales side, or had you already ramped up some salespeople?
So we had one seller prior to the close of the financing. That financing was twofold. One, let's accelerate engineering. And then number 2 was build out our sales force.
Is it working?
I mean, I think that we have a process that we feel very confident in. The process is working. I think that there's always places in any business to optimize. For us, we're in a category of folks who see workforce training as a nice to have, not always a need to have. So we spent a lot more dollars on, kind of growth on the growth side, marketing team, top of funnel. Primarily focusing on how do we educate people about the problem that we know is there. It's tough to be in a space where I see ourselves as creating a category. There are no other game platforms when it comes to workforce development or employee performance. So we battle the status quo, which means our sales team has to do things a little bit differently than other. If we were creating a CRM company tomorrow, everybody knows the value of CRM. It's a little bit different.
Yeah. What's churn look like over the past 12 months?
I think we've had healthy churn, about 10%.
Okay. Revenue or logo?
That is revenue. A little higher on the logo side. Early adopters that were low ACV from back in those days, like when we talked, that probably weren't going to step up, but we learned from, makes up about half of that. The other half has to do with, as a SaaS tool. We learned really quickly that when you have one key stakeholder that's a champion with your software inside of an enterprise, that's a good thing, but it's not a good thing when they turn over. So we learned that we got to get really deep, really fast when we sell into an enterprise to have multiple stakeholders that know us, have relationships with us, so that, God forbid somebody moves on, the baby doesn't go out with the bathwater, so to speak.
Yep. Does your expansion revenue more than make up for the 10% churn?
Yeah, we're net negative churn.
How negative?
6-7 points.
Okay, got it. So you've got about 16 points of expansion then for net revenue retention of 106%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. What's the expansion? Like, what's driving the expansion? Is it number of seats or some other utility metric?
Yeah. So because of the fact that we're doing a lot with frontline workers, like a big passion point for us with our product is that the overwhelming majority of 130 million US workforce does not get access to ongoing skill development like other roles inside of the org. We can't price by user only because you're going to pay $100 a month for a seller, but you're not going to pay $100 a month for maybe the usher or the security guard. So our pricing model has 3 prongs to it. We're users, so we still have users as one of the metrics. Second is admins. We've built a product where frontline managers can create content. So in a way, challenging HR's dominance of being the gatekeeper for employee development. So frontline users, admins, and then the third part is number of games in their game library. Now, sometimes we work with a mid-sized brand that doesn't have a large, robust library. Maybe they only have one person in charge of training. Well, in that regard, we know that expansion is going to be driven by just seats. But we just sold into another great example, like Tao Group, it's the biggest nightclub chain in the world. Tao Group has they want to launch on day one with every employee, but they only want to launch with one topic area. So for us, now it's more about their library. How many games do they want to be able to handle inside of our platform? So we have a user pricing we have a pricing model for like low content, high users, and then we upsell as they add more content.
Mm-hmm. No, that makes a lot of sense. So, okay, 2014 you launched, 111 customers today. You mentioned $50,000 ACV. I mean, if I do the math, that would put you at like 450 grand a month right now in revenue. Is that high?
We're a little shy of that because we still have some early adopters that are different price points. We're hovering right now. Our kind of run rate is between 3.5 and 4
million. Sam,
I know you like exacts.
Sam, sorry,
Billion? No.
you're saying
Billion?
3.5 million per year?
Correct.
Okay, got it. So that would be about $290,000 per month, something like that.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, good. So that's good. Now, talk to me about CAC, right? So to get a new customer, are you comfortable with a 12-month payback, or are you being more aggressive?
Our customer acquisition costs are so minimal right now. It's not even, I would say it's a metric I'm aware of, but at this stage, we're just head down on usage. And
well, if I'm a sales guy and I close a $30,000 deal for you, how much commission are you going to pay me?
20%.
Okay, got it. So, there's cost there, right? So that immediately puts payback period at 4 months. What about, how do you get the lead in the first place?
All cold outreach.
Okay. From the sales reps?
So our SDRs, 90% of our leads in 2018, last full calendar year, came from cold outreach from our SDR team.
Okay. And what has growth been like? So if you're at 3.5 million run rate today, where were you a year ago?
We were hovering a year ago. We were, probably around $1.4 million, $1.5 million, somewhere in that ballpark.
So good. So, more than double. That's healthy growth.
Yeah.
Where's most of that growth come from? Upselling customers or adding new ones altogether?
25% of our new booked ARR this year came from expansions and upsells. The rest is coming new.
Okay, that's a good metric to know. Very good, Sam. All right, man. Let's. And by the way, that last capital raise was a while ago. Now, are you looking at raising more capital?
We're currently in discussions about what we're going to do. Q4 is our biggest quarter, so we're deciding if we're going to raise a round in Q4 or let us finish out the year strong and then turn the corner coming out of the year and see what we're going to do. But we're evaluating it right now.
Your next round, how much do you think you might end up raising if you do it, whether it's Q4, Q1?
We'd probably be thinking that, nothing less than 10.
Yep. And would you even look at something where you're, on a $50 million valuation, or do you want something richer?
No, I think that we'll probably be, I'd love a $50 million valuation, but I probably think we'll probably be somewhere in like the 30s. I think that's a reasonable range to be in. Also very, very sensitive to the fact that, we're still selling and we're growing consistently. So I think it's also important, and you talk to a lot of founders, that the amount we raise, if we do raise, is what we need, and nothing more, not a cent more than what we absolutely need to get to the next milestone.
Yep. All makes sense. Let's wrap up with the famous 5. Number 1, favorite business book.
Favorite business book. Right now, because that book changes. Right now, I'm enjoying. Let's say is my best one right now. Anti-Fragile or Anti-Fragility, I think is the title of the book. Talking about the again core concept being around toughness is a big part of our team and our unit at 1Huddle. One of our core values is being tough consistently in every part of our business, challenging our customers. So believe the title is Anti-Fragility. I spend more time in the book than on the cover.
Number 2, is there a CEO you're following or studying right now?
Nick Saban. I used to coach high school football. I spent a lot of time I use a lot of sports analogies. I'm surprised I have gone this long on this session without using one, but coaching talent of Nick Saban, a guy who year over year constantly has to reload, both with managers and players, and keeps the brand and the team consistently at a high level. I think there's a lot to learn.
Number 3, what's your favorite online tool for building your company? I think at the end of the day, I'm old school. CRM is still at the core of what we do. We use Copper today. Copper's kind of helped us get from right out of being early to where we are today. And it's still what drives our business, and we don't mess around with numbers internally with our sales force. And yep. Number 4, how many hours of sleep do you get every night?
4 to 5.
Sam, come on, that's not healthy. 5 hours of sleep?
That's it.
That's ridiculous.
Not a good thing. Well, I would say that I get 4 to 5 for 4 to 5 days, and then I sleep for 10 is what happens.
Makes sense. You catch up. All right. And what's your situation? Married, single, kids?
married with a boss that's 2.5. So she runs the show. I'm doing a sales training next week. I'm bringing her into the office because she's now at the stage where she says why to everything. So, that's a pretty powerful sales technique.
It's funny. All right. And how old are you?
I'm 34.
34. Last question. What do you wish your 20-year-old self knew?
I would say I did, when I was 20, I did a really good job at, I started work at 18. So I was in school full time, work full time. I did a really good job going where other people wouldn't, going to the conferences, going to the trade shows, going to the events. If I were to go back and do that again, I would have more one-on-one time with the people I met. I would ask more of graciously of the time of people around me to learn, to dig just another layer deeper. I think sometimes when you're 20, you don't understand the value of every conversation you have.
Guys, Sam with 1Huddle again, breaking $3.5 million in ARR, up from $1.4 million in ARR just a year ago. Healthy growth rate, $2.9 million raised, burning about $120,000 per month right now as he looks to drive additional growth. They're now serving 111 customers. Again, gamifying employee development, employee training. Average ACV now in the 30, 40, 50,000 kind of range. Potentially raising in Q4, Q1, maybe 10 on a 30 million pre. We'll see what happens there. In the meantime, Sam, thank you for taking us to the top.
Thanks, Nathan.
These CEOs rarely give these kinds of interviews. I hit them hard, I get the data, and I want to do it more. So if you want to get more of this stuff, make sure you subscribe up here. And then additionally, go check out one of my other CEO interviews right now.